Today my topic for discussion is Ansible. So first question would be what is Ansible, why we need it, okay, and why should we install or use Ansible, because there are some other tool in the market like Chef and Puppet, why you will prefer Ansible over them, and what is architecture of Ansible, how it work. I'll try to explain. Then in the later part of my video, I'll try to show installation part. Here I'm going to focus on mostly installation on Red Hat 8 platform, Red Hat Linux 8. You can refer, if you see my video, okay, it is actually same. Like you can you can install in the same way in CentOS 8 or Oracle Linux 8 or Oracle Linux 8. So it's mostly an 8 platform, RHEL 8 platform. How you will install Ansible. That part I will explain in later part of my video. Okay. So those who knows what is Ansible, why Ansible is required, why Ansible is needed, you can skip this part, okay, and you can go directly to the installation part and you can check it. You can just review it from there. So why is Ansible? Ansible is a sysadmin tool. It's a system admin tool. Simple thing is a system admin tool. Now, why I am saying it is a system admin tool, right? Suppose you have an environment. Suppose you are an IT person. Okay. So this person name is XYZ. IT expert. He is an IT expert. Now he has to manage some servers in his platform, in his environment. Now, if he is maintaining, suppose he has some application web server, maybe one, two, and three web server. Suppose they have production server, production or transaction server. Okay, maybe here 1, 2, and 3. Okay, maybe he has the database node as well, 3 database nodes as well. Okay, now if he has that many only, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 servers, it's very easy to manage, right? Now every day, suppose he has in his platform up to 100. Okay, same way he has more than maybe 1,000. Okay, maybe 50 database node. So just imagine how many nodes he has to manage every day. If if he has to perform some configuration change, let's say you have to change the NTP configuration. Okay, it's very important. They are migrating on NTP server, and and what he has to do, he has to change NTP node, NTP server configuration in all 1,150 nodes. So he has to log into each node one at a time, okay, and he has to configure it. It's a tedious job. Like you cannot do, and also it's a very time consuming job, very time consuming job. So Ansible is a tool, and such a tool, what it will help you to manage the node remotely, configure any, like you can manage the configuration part. Okay, you can patch your application, patch your server, or you can deploy your new application and new stuffs in your machines. So it help you to update and maintain all servers. So suppose it's the job of 100 person for 30 days, but when you have Ansible in your platform, when you have Ansible, okay, with a playbook, I'll explain playbook later, or some ad hoc command. These are the terminology for Ansible. You can deploy these all. You can actually work on this many machine by only one click, or with one single, or on single configuration. Okay, so this is what Ansible do. It helps to maintain and update server very easily. Definitely you need a pre-knowledge, like you have to have your Ansible platform ready, and you need to have some that configuration part you have to do. You have to test it, then you can deploy it, like if it is working for 1 or 2 nodes, and after that test bed you can deploy it. And for deployment, suppose also another think about another thing, another example here. Suppose you are maybe you have one application. Okay, now this application has some features or publicly available feature. Okay, now when someone purchases, is a very demanding one. Suppose it's a very demanding one. So when someone purchases this feature, okay, each feature require one server and one set of, suppose it's a feature called ABC, and ABC feature need XYZ server and some OS layer changes. Okay, so every time someone buy this ABC feature, you need to, in your backend infra, okay, your backend infra need to configure this XYZ server with some voice layer changes. Okay, that is prerequisite for, that is a prerequisite task for to run this feature. So here here when you are, it's also possible, right? But think about, you have 1,000 customer or per year, or you have maybe 10 to 20 customer per month, and for that you need to patch up, configure these nodes, and you have to reconfigure this node. And for that, how many resources you need, how many time you have to expend. Okay, it's a very boring job, right? You are doing the same tasks again and again, and sometimes there are human error. you can, even if you don't want, sometimes there are human error, there are some bugs, but you think about, you have a configuration with Ansible. When you are deploying this feature, you are automatically, that Ansible is triggering this configuration, and it is patching up, it is making this XYZ server and all the changes which is required, prerequisite changes automatically. So this 10 to 20 servers jobs is reduced, right? So this is how it works. I just wanted to give you some high level scenario or high level idea why the Ansible is required. So basically it is working for IT automation. IT automation. Okay, this is the first thing. Second thing is configuration management. And third thing is automate the deployment. So I have already, so this is what I have just explained. IT motion, it can automate all the configuration, all the patching, whatever, whenever you need some changes. It is helping all the to automate everything, automate that. It is helping you to configuration, helping you in configuration management, and automate the deployment, which is I just explained. Now, what about the architecture? Right. For Ansible, you need a Unix-like system. Unix system, Unix or Linux, which will work as a master node. Question would be, what is master node? That I am going to explain surely. Here, think about your local machine. Okay. Now, in this machine, you will install Ansible. Okay. Now, what Ansible does, it has some module. When you will install this Ansible in your machines, definitely it has to be an Unix or Linux platform, and this is the master node. This is the master node. Okay, so it has some inventory, configuration inventory, and it has some module built in. Now, suppose you have node 1, node 2, so node 1, node 2, node 3. So what module does, it has some command or some playbook built in. Okay, it will push the configuration as per the playbook. Okay, according to the module. Now, another part of the Ansible is it manage it. What it does, manage the configuration, it actually manage its host, right? Manage the communication part. How it manage the communication? It manage the configuration via SSH. Yes. So this is the total working high level architecture which actually you need to understand. So you need to install Ansible only in your master node. You don't need to install any of the node here. Okay, what you need here, you need some SSH configuration. You need to have some SSH port open in built-in open SSH. Okay, a secure method, and you can configure it. Usually best practice is from master node to node 1, you establish, you have one root user, you either root or root like system, or create one user like ansadmin. Okay, just I'm giving one example. Give that ansadmin root privilege. Root privilege. Okay, and with this root privilege, from this ansadmin you establish some SSH authentication. Now, why you are preferring the SSH authentication, right? That could be the question, because even if you can deploy some configuration with the with the password, this is possible, but when giving the password in 1000 node, it is still 1000 node password, right? You are giving some password for 1000 node. Yes, it is still a less job time consuming, but still it is wasting your time, right? So instead of it, if you have a user which has some root privilege, you definitely need a root privilege here, and you create from that user you create some SSL authentication, and you will be able to manage all the node. Now another interesting fact is, another most important fact is here, this is, and this Ansible is actually push method. It is pushing all the configuration, everything. Okay, so it is pushing from master node to the node where you are configuring it or you are managing it. It is pushing, push method. Now I told you from the beginning what the difference between the between chef and puppet, right? Those are actually pull method. Those are using pull method. Pull method is used by some other configuration to chef or puppet. So here, when you are using pull method, so every node has to you have to install some agent. Okay, you are using some agent, installing some agent, and definitely when you are installing something, it is taking some resource from those node, right? And even for that you need some master for the communication purpose. Agent always try to make some try to make some communication with that. Suppose it has some master node here, and agent is trying to build a communication, like build some connection, like it is trying to communicate with this master node every few minutes or few seconds, and it is checking whether any new configuration is there or not. If the new configuration is there, it will update it. If not, it will not update. So agent has to be always active. But here in push method, you are the master, right? You know when to push, so you don't have to make you don't require to make this communication every day, every time, every second. So it is saving some bandwidth in your system, it is saving some resource in your system, and it's very light. light one. You only have one master node, and you can just, or you can take some another backup node for a backup purpose, and you can, whenever is required, you will just use this master Ansible node for the installation and configuration purpose. So that is the whole point. Okay. As I am discussing on the architecture part, there is another feature that Ansible has, which is Ansible Tower. I'm not going to discuss this in depth. Here, Ansible Tower. Ansible Tower is like a cherry on the top of ice cream, right? Like for Ansible, normal part, okay, you have to do everything in a command line, CLI. But here is a framework for Ansible on top of it. Okay, it's another framework. And it provides GUI, graphical interface, to manage all the node and everything, all the configuration. Provide the GUI interface. Like you can drag and drop command, and you can configure it from the tower part. So these are the actually key part. So this is actually high level, very high level. I just want to give you what is Ansible Tower. I'm not going to discuss it right now. So here, from the total discussion point, I have explained what is Ansible. Okay, high level architecture I have mentioned. Then I have talked about why Ansible is better. And I have talked about what are the three key thing, like IT automation, configuration, automated deployment, where all those three items where you actually need Ansible for. Okay. Now I'm going to now this part I will show you installation and configuration. Okay. So let's move on to the installation and configuration part, to Rhel 8. Rhel 8. Pardon my handwriting. Now here, as you can see, if you go to docs.ansible.com and go to the installation method, okay, installation guide, here you can see, and all the installation process, like how you will install in Ubuntu, Debian, okay, pre-Mac OS and everything. Yeah, I'm going to install the process in RHEL, CentOS, and Fedora. I have 3 machines already boot up. Okay, one is VM1, VM2, and VM3. So VM2 and VM3 I will explain. VM2 and VM3 I'll use as a node, and VM1 I will use as a master node. Okay, so what I am going to show you here, the process of installing Ansible in VM1, Rh8 VM1. Okay. So first and foremost, before installing Ansible, you definitely need Python. It is the first thing you need. Okay, without one Python, it will not work. Either you need Python 3 or Python 2. And if you are installing this with the Python, there is option with pip install Ansible part. So in that case also you need Python. But when you are using the DNF or EM, DNF is second generation of EM. So here it is more secure, okay, and it is more it has more capability of checking the dependencies, installing the dependencies of any packages. Okay, so now in Rhel8 platform, it is used DNA, EM is DNF, and EM is also there. So when you are installing using DNF or Ansible, it will also search for that dependencies and it will install it. We'll see everything. Okay, so here I'm checking the version, and Python 3 is already installed. Now this is the host name, RHL 8.5. Other hosts also I'm using for RHL 8.5 other node. The installation process is mentioned as DNF install Ansible or EM install Ansible. Okay, so I'll show you whether it will work or not. So first we need to check the repo list. Okay, DNF repo list all. Then grep enable. Here you can see two repo is enabled for this RHL8 platform. One is base OS and upstream RPMS. Right, now I'm going to try installing this part with the DNF install Ansible. It is searching and it is showing error, unable to find a match for Ansible. Right, now interesting fact is here some repo for Ansible. Right, so you can see repo for up to 2.8, repo for 2.9, and automation platform early access RHL8. So you can access like before. These are the early access part. It's not yet released, but you can use it for your troubleshooting purpose. So here for this part, I'm going to use 2.9. So I'm going to enable this repository first. This is my first action item. So command for enabling that that repository is DNF config manager -- set -enable, and that repository name what that you want to enable. So set config enable Ansible 2.8 for RHL8 x86 64 RPMs, and it is enabling that repository. So once it is enabled, let's check again the grep enable DNF replaced all. You'll see this in repository for Ansible is enabled, and now we will install with DNF install Ansible command. Let's see what happened. You can see here Ansible is there. Also all the dependencies also it take automatically, all the base Python 3, some weak dependencies. Okay, so all the dependencies are automatically detected, and it will now download and install in this machine. So let's complete the installation part. If we check like command is Ansible -- version, you can see it is showing config file etc ansible.conf. This is the configuration directory. Okay, so configure module search for is here, configure Ansible Python module location is here, executable location is here, and Python version is also it is showing. So if we go to the cd etc Ansible directory, here you can see the three ansible.cfc, host and role. I'll talk about a role later. This is the configuration. This is a tree file. Okay, so I'm from the Ansible. These are the three basic thing you only need for Ansible. Okay, for this is the main three feature you require. You need it for Ansible configuration and checking. So you can see inventory directory in yes, location is etc Ansible host, right? If you are using, if you want to use in different location for this inventory, as I saw, I tell you, right, like there is an inventory path thing, you can manage your host from different path. Okay, you can mention the full path here, and that it will automatically detect that. Okay, so some model list is also there here with it. So all the thing is here, so we'll explain, we'll check later all those part. Now I have three hosts. 128 is the master node, and 129 and 130 is the other node where I will test the configuration later on. Okay, so what I have done, I have added this three hosts on like 128, 129, 130, and I'm going to run one basic ad hoc command for Ansible, and I'll check. I'll run ping command using ad hoc. I'll run ping command. I'll check whether these nodes are up or not. Here you can see all the nodes are up. Okay, in right side. But I'll see first. I'll check whether it is up or not using command Ansible all -m ping. So I didn't configure the SSH configuration part. For that reason, okay, it is showing that it is unreachable. See, unsuccessful and change unreachable. It is showing unreachable. So why it is happening? Because there is no passwordless authentication is there. But once there is another method to give the password. See, Ansible all -m ping, -m means -m is module. I'm using the ping module here. So Ansible all means under the host I am using all like 172.16, okay, 1.28, 1.129, 1.130. I'm giving ping to all. I'm using this module. I'm giving ping to all hosts. Okay, so this is the explanation. Ansible all -m module. Which module I'm using? I'm using ping module, and minus ask minus pass. So what it is doing now, it is asking for me the password, like to access this host, which password is there. So once I'm giving the password, see, it is successful in two node 129 and 128. See here 130 is saying using SSH password instead of a key is not possible because host key checking is enabled. Here what I did previously for checking purpose, 128 is this host is itself, so there is no required for SSH checking. Now for 129 is a different node. What I did, I had SSH to the node from this machines. So when I have SSH it, that automatically that key is added to this node. Okay, that's why this is using this command SSH password, it is able to, I can access it, right? It is showing that yes, ping is successful. That host is see, it is showing success, means their ping is successful, ping pong, and it is the host is reachable. Even the 130 node is reachable, it is not, it is showing false. That is why you need SSH authentication to make it accessible. I'll do one thing. I will try to log into that node from this node. Okay, when I'm doing SSH root at that IP, 130 IP. See, authenticity of host can be established, and this ECD as a key fingerprint is dash, and this is the whole key finger. Are you sure you want to connecting? Once you will say yes, it will automatically add to your in these machines, okay, and you will be able to you will prompt for the password and you will be able to log in. Okay, once you logged in, and you will exit it. Okay, now when I'm running the same command for Ansible all minus MP. Now it is success. See, 130 is success. So this is the reason you need SSL configuration with all the node. Okay, it will and for that you will not have to type password every time, and you will not face this kind of issues. This is the simple module I have explained here. I'll explain a bit more in details in my next lectures. So I hope you liked it, for whatever I have explained today. Okay, so if you liked it, if you learn anything, if you feel it is helpful for you, it was helpful for you, please do like my video, please do share with your friends who, and definitely please stay tuned for the next videos. Okay, thank you for watching my video patiently, and thank you again. Bye.